It is Tuesday. It is already warm. Probably should have started earlier, but I know folks kind of expect the stream between 8 and 8:30 as the start time, so I try to stick with that, but hopefully it doesn't get too balmy up here already. Okay, so let me send out my tweet. And that is done. Good, good. Okay, so we are back on my alts plot, DIL, DIL. It's not public or anything, so you can't visit it. It's just something, it's like a tester plot. I call it the CBDC warehouse. It's usually where I tinker around with CBDC ideas. Unless I have a specific plot that I know that I'm going to use those items on, this is probably where I'll be building it. Just a couple of reminders, we do have the Battle Chase event ongoing. Probably like sounding like a broken record, but for those that, you know, are just coming in onto the stream or have never watched my videos before, I do try to do little quickie reminders at the beginning and probably at the end as well. For those that are not as frequent visitors to the forums and such, it's kind of like I have a lot of guild mates that join the guild and then they register at the guild website and then they never visit it again. I think they rely on more word of mouth and actual chatter going on in the chat channels to know what's going on and when, rather than checking all the stuff. So I'm constantly monitoring like the forums, the Twitter feeds, just the dev tracker. About the only thing I don't really pay attention to is Reddit. I haven't gotten into that. I've dabbled a little bit in the Steam stuff, but it's kind of just a big mess of junk, so I don't really pay attention to it too much either. But for those bits that I do watch, as new things come out, I try to keep, you know, everybody up on top of that. So yeah, the Battle Chase event is ongoing. It ends on August 1st, I think. I think that's the last day. It is a PvP related activity event, but it does have housing, decor, and remodel rewards, such as sky remodels. Some of the decor, from what I understand, is interactable, such as the crates and the caution gate. I haven't actually been participating myself, but I do have a guildmate that has been very generous in sharing the battle bits that he has been collecting, and I just haven't cashed them in yet. I'm kind of waiting maybe to see if I stumble across a plot that has some of the items and see which ones I may or may not want. Until that time, all I can say is if you are into PvP, this is probably the ideal event for you. You get a little bit of the activity you enjoy, plus you get some decor bonuses as well. If you're not into PvP, this, you know, could be an excuse to just have some fun and get into it. I mean, I know, especially for battlegrounds, it might be a little intimidating if you haven't done it before, but it's just a temporary thing, and it helps the queues even if you are lousy at it. So if you can kind of just bite the bullet and give it a try, you never know, you might decide you actually like it. Or buddy up with someone that actually knows what they're doing and have them help you out. But whatever it is, hopefully you take advantage of it. I do believe most, if not all of the items that are available are not BOA. So that means that they are tradable or obtainable through the auction house. I've been seeing a lot of the new NPCs and stuff, for example, listed. They might be a little bit out of your price range, depending on how far along you are in your gaming experience with WildStar and how much you've saved back. But you never know, you might find a good deal if you keep looking. So good luck on that. And good morning, Poi and Maddie, and anyone else that happens to be lurking. Appreciate you guys joining us. Another thing is tomorrow is House Tours Day, Wednesday. It's Exile's turn, so we'll be going to some Exile homes. And then on Friday, we have the CBDC Showcase. This month's theme is modular embellishment. Basically, I gave participants a little mini home and asked them to decorate it, however they want. It's completely up to them. I think we have about 12 folks, so that's 12 different homes plus the two that I did. So we're going to have a pretty long showcase, I think, on Friday. Good morning, Rizwan and Chiki as well. Um, so yeah, it's a little late if you haven't gotten into it yet. You just have a few days left. If you're still working on them, of course, keep in mind that you'll want to make sure that the plot that they are on is public for Friday's showcase if you want to have it included. And you have these last few days to add whatever last little touches you want to throw in. I'm not trying to rush you. If you just don't finish it, don't worry about it. We'll show what you have, and then afterwards you're free to do whatever you want with it, whether it be to remove it or whatever. So, am I going to tour Exile NA sometime soon? No, probably not, Rizwan. This is just for the CBDC. I do visit NA for the CBDC showcases, and that's it. We don't do actual plot tours. On the bright side, there are about 3 individuals / groups, or maybe it's 4 now, that actually do NA tours. We've got Adelon that's done some. We have Chef Noriak that also does some. And then Ayuni and Ku and that gang also does tours. Now, Adelon and Noriak, they just record their videos and pop them up on YouTube. It's not an actual live stream like this. And they specifically have a one house per video. So it's like, 5, 10, 15-minute videos for each one. For Ayuni's group, they actually live stream theirs, and they have been recording them because I was able to catch the one from last week. I haven't checked out this week's because they stream every Monday evening. I think it's 8 p.m. CST time. So you can either catch it live or you can catch it archived. And I'm sure there's probably some others that might do some tours, but those are the 3 that I know of. And if you're interested in checking those out, the links are in the other housing tours section of the Twitch channel page of mine. So you can have the links there. I link the playlist for Adelon and Noriak, and then the Twitch channel for Ayuni and their group. All of them do their own thing. I think Adelon's is mostly just set to music. I'm not even sure if it's, I want to say it's WildStar music, but it might not be. And Noriak, his thing is he looks at it from like the truest perspective. He keeps it in first person, so you don't see the character at all. You just see the house that he's touring. And then Ayuni and them, they have the benefit of using like a voice chat type of thing. They invite those that they're touring the homes of to come and talk about it, show them, maybe give them a live tour type of thing. And they just take a bunch of people and go and chit chat about the house that they're visiting and explore it together. So it really just depends on the kind of tours you like. I know several people are still trying to encourage you to come over, and it may eventually happen, but right now I think it's best to kind of leave that to the others for now. There may be some things coming up that I'm not sure how it might affect my schedule, so I don't want to push myself into something that I can't uphold later consistently. So I'm just kind of waiting to see how that goes. Yeah, thanks, Boy. Maybe do one at a time. And you probably have to like actually use the actual link address and not just the thingy. I don't know how that works. It was funny because Bones was able to post a link yesterday, I think it was. Because I actually have it set so that my regulars have access to posting the links, but I've had people not have the ability to do that in the past, even though they were supposedly set. So I don't know, maybe it's just kind of wonky how it works. But anyway, you'll probably notice there's a few new things in here. I was tinkering around yesterday after the show. Well, it was way later in the evening, but just started trying out some things. So I'm going to go over that and then we'll continue on with something else. Basically, for those that are just joining us, this is a replica of the golf kiosk. It doesn't have a roof or anything. It's just the basic shape of the building itself, where the windows and doors are placed and everything. But it's a copy of the one on my alts plot that is hosting a replica of Katya's miniature golf plot. She invited me to replicate it on Javits so that EU players can have a taste of the miniature golf game. So we've been busy working on that, collecting all the items needed. She's been setting it up. I've already got the add-on that I'm going to need to be able to host the games. I just haven't tested it yet. But the only thing that she didn't have decorated was the little, the building, the kiosk shop thingy. And so I decided I'm going to go ahead and do that. And the reason I've replicated it is because on the plot itself, the house, the little building is actually at an odd angle. And I find it much easier to build with everything kind of squared first, and then I turn it later. And so what I've done is I've taken the copy of the building, put it here, made it straight, and now I'm building according to that. And then later I'll copy everything else and then put it onto the actual plot. So it's probably like a little, maybe folks have fun building at an angle and they don't find any problem with that, but for me it's just easier to build it square. So there you go, you got it working. That's a Uni's thing. In fact, they just wrapped their stream up not long ago, last night I think it was. Yep, that's good. And I think Noriak just added, I think it was either 2 or 3 videos. I don't even remember which ones it was. I think one was, I think it was a summer plot, and then another one was like a forest thing. I really can't remember off the top of my head. But yes, I've been retweeting and stuff as I come across those things. Okay, so we yesterday on the stream we did the golf clubs, the golf ball baskets, and kind of did some arranging of some of the basic furniture just to kind of figure out what we wanted to put where. And then later yesterday evening I came in and was trying to come up with some ideas of what we would be using for these things. Like this here, I decided it was going to be our little sale rack. So just some random junky stuff that, some merchandise that, needs to go. I'm putting it there. Here I tried to do some kind of like hats. So I have the statue, the little bust of, I think what is his name, Malvolio or whatever? Malvolio. And I put a hat on him, and then I tried to make some variations of hats. Basically, it's just bowls for the cap part, and then for the little lip. For this one in particular, it's actually the judge's hat, and I've just pushed it in so you only see the one end. Because basically I was looking for things that match something on the cap itself. So this is a brown with brown. The bowls are the caps for these two here. This one is the yellow bowl, this is the metal bowl, and this is the bottom of a propane tank uh, for that one. And the what's it called? The bill of the cap is a different kind of tank. It's the vent tank. So basically, I was looking for something that was black to kind of contrast against the grays there. This one is basically another yellow bow, just enlarged. In fact, you can kind of see it here. The only thing that didn't quite work like I was wanting, I didn't want it poking through, so I'll have to find a way to kind of hide that later. And this one is basically just the metal plate bottom. I could have used the bowl again, but I was afraid I was going to have the same problem as this one, so I just used the bottom of a metal plate. They're both got that shiny metal thing going on, so just did that. So those are my little caps. And then you can see here I tried to make a golf bag. It's basically 2 cups, several of them stuck together. Got a little hanging wire for the handle, and then a little pocket with an additional, it's just an extra cup. It doesn't have the little, I mean, the way I've sandwiched them together, it kind of has like a little cap there. So it's not completely hollow like you would probably want, but just something I was trying. If you have access to like the backpacks, you might can fashion one from that with that material. You know, it looks a little canvasy type of thing. And then I wanted some t-shirts, and you can see I was busy playing around with ideas for different shirts. So we've got the travel poster shirts, so it has like a little design on the front, and then I've used Cassian pillars for the sleeves, just 3 of them together. And of course using the hanging wire as hangers and hammers for the little bits there. This one is made out of the tribal mats. I actually sent some over. Now the tribal mat itself is actually pretty square, so I ended up having to do 2 of them to kind of elongate the t-shirt part. The t-shirt to me is more of a rectangle than a square, unless you're like doing like a halter top or something. But you know, you can adjust it to however long you want. Going a little longer, a little shorter. What I have is, I think, fair amount. And then I use the rolled ones for the sleeves. Now I know it's not exactly perfect. The sleeves are a little bit more 3-dimensional than that really super thin shirt part, but you know, you do what you can with the materials you have. Same way with this one, it's the danger signs. I've just rotated it up so that it's kind of, and then added an extra one to elongate it a little bit again, because the one is just more too square. And then I used fireworks for the sleeves. So basically I was just going to have several different ones here, like 2 here, 2 here, and maybe do 3 different posters here, using the hanging wires as hangers type of things. And I think that's all I did. Well, I did do the sale sign, basically with bananas on the, I don't know, yeah. I actually, on the one on the plot, there's a big one of these pictures hanging for a sign, and I've put in the word Puttopia, I think. So since those were done in bananas, I decided to do the sale one the same way, using the same kind of writing. I actually have a little saved link to a page that has what it calls it the banana alphabet. And it kind of helps you know about how many bananas you need for each letter and how it maybe should look. Mine are a little bit straighter, I think, than the actual banana alphabet page that I look at, because it looks a little bit more oriental looking because of the curves. Somehow it uses the banana. But I turn mine a little straighter. I mean, it's slightly curved, but not as strong, I guess. But I find that easier rather than just kind of guessing. It helps me keep the letters pretty much the same sizes and the spacing and everything. So, and then of course I just replicated it to match it over here. Uh, so let's see. Basically, I was looking for flat items. You could probably use the beach towels, of course, would work wonderfully. Even the roll ones would work for the sleeves on the shirts. I'm trying to think what else. Probably all sorts of things you could use for uh, the t-shirt. I mean, we have the folded shirts if you have some of those on hand. You might could get away with like using the towels that you get from the boxing gym fab kit. Um, there's those. There's the sleeping bags might could work. Like if you those actually might look more like coats to me, just because of the puffiness of the material, and it's pretty thick. So, but like you could, you know, you'd probably want to turn it around and have it like that, and then you might even actually want to like double it up or something, have two of them side by side to make a little bit wider. I'll try and give an example here. And then use the rolled ones for the sleeves, something like that. And the reason I flipped it is because that one end is a little crooked. But like, do it like that, and then add the rolled ones for sleeves. Grab one of these over here. Oh, really? Well, I'll have to thank her for that. I didn't really watch her stream too much but you know, usually I mention, you know, if people are looking for streamers, typically they're looking for gaming content like actual raids and dungeons and stuff. And I always send them to Cal and Maximus. They both do a lot of that. So I appreciate the, what do they call it, the reciprocity. So, something like this. Probably not the perfect straighten this up just a little bit. So something like that. So there you have like some kind of like a little jersey thing. And yes, on the other side, you'll probably see the little flipped part of where the sleeping bag is open. If you want to avoid that, then you'd have to double it up and sandwich them together to make sure it's not visible. But I think for the purpose of this, it won't be too bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let's make a set of this one here. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other things you could probably use. Mostly it's just kind of flattish type of things. Like the Tua pillow might could work for a little bit of a fat kind of shirt if you're looking for one that's got a little bit more thickness than these little paper thin things. Because if you angle it just right, that whole little piece just kind of basically disappears. But um, let's see, that was the sign. We don't need that anymore, I don't think. Now I'm going to place the whole thing and then I'm going to switch out the poster. Now I did go and check to see how many pieces of decor the park itself is, and it's sitting at about 1,100. So I've got a little bit of leeway, I think. I'm hoping I'm not going too far in the details here, but if it poses problems for someone, then I'll change it up. But let's look at travel posters. I could use the same one, but I'd like to try different. Try that one. Not too expensive. See, then you have like different types of oops, I'll just mess that up. There you go. Now it's like two different kind of types. You know, you've seen the little clothes rack where you have like a bunch of black t-shirts and they have all different decals and stuff, so that'll work good. Then we have to, let's see, need to replicate this hammer thingy. So that we get them all about the same. And also a hanging cable. And then we'll adjust the shirt a bit. Now this one, for whatever reason, it's a little wonky on what moves it, which direction. It doesn't really match what it's supposed to. I think it's just the way I've turned the sign or something. It's a little funny. There we go. And then we'll just replicate this one, turn it. I want to do that. And we'll go ahead and use this one here. So I'm going to link all these up together. There you go. It's got some different little t-shirt things going on. Enough of variety, but not too many. There's actually, I can't remember off the top of my head who did it, but there was one plot we visited that they just did some awesome hangers, and I can't remember what they made them out of. I just remember it being like a little closet thing right at the front for like the coats and stuff. And then I think they used it again in the bedroom. But these are just simple. Again, about the only thing that I've kind of gone out of my way to get is the tribal mats, which come from that Bar Trader Fab Kit, which I think it was a Gildie that said they had a character that had it on their plot, but there's several players that have it. If you can find one, note it down, and then this is a perfect place to go and pick up these mats. So they're relatively easy to get a hold of. That's the only reason I'm using them. I know there's other things that are probably better for some of these, like the beach towels, the beach balls for the golf balls, and things like that. But not everybody wants to use the uh, Omnibits or the actual Protobooks kind of thing, or has the reputation to go and grab certain things. So uh, being able to come up with uses for like these hanging wires and stuff, that's helpful, I think, to those that don't have access to all of that snazzy decor. They can still kind of simulate that they're hangers. You know, it's not perfect. It's just a little loop of wire. It's not exactly the actual shape of a hanger. It's just kind of a stringy thing, but um, everybody can clearly see what they're supposed to be, so I don't think it's that much of an issue. You could use them if you want, if you're doing like a designer shop with like some actual like women's clothes and accessories. These would make good like purse handles. I've used them for basket handles, like for the Easter plot. I'm even using it for the golf bag handle. Um, Trying to think what else you could use them for. I mean, they're better, you know, they're good for other than just being used as wires. Now, I have seen some folks use them as actual like handles on doors, but at a really small size, they kind of disappear, or they're very hard to see. I mean, even here, they kind of blend in. Um, but it's not as bad as if it was like a little handle on the door. It's really hard to see there. So I just wish they would make some of these things like the wires and the other building blocks and stuff in other colors, like a nice silver metallic. That would be great, or some bright primary colors, just so that we have some more uses of them, so that they better contrast against other things. Because brown on brown or black on black gets kind of boring. Okay, so the main thing I think we're missing over here, I mean, there's probably lots of other things we could do, we could add, but I don't want to get too complicated because again, Katya asked me not to go too crazy with this stuff, so I'm trying to just give like hints of what each space is for, and then just moving on to the next. But I think one thing we could add here is a cash register and maybe a little scorecard stack of some sort. So how do I want to do that? Register, usually people go with some kind of screen thing. Like probably best place to look is like electronics. Tools and hardware is another good one. Hey Faye, good morning. Yeah, I think it was yours, Cheeky. Is it on what was his name? Clay Iron Fist, I think. Yeah, it could be Poi. I mean, he does quite a bit of stuff. Um, some use like the ergonomics keyboard, but again, the keyboard comes from a reputation vendor. I think it's Rimvault. I'm not sure on that, but I think that's where it is. And a lot of the screens come from reputation vendors as well. Um, but if you're looking for something cheap and easy to get a hold of, probably see. Gonna look at the tools and hardware real quick. Probably the best is just to use containers are another good spot to look at. Let me look at those real quick. For the cash register in my bakery, I used travel posters for that one. I think the big favorite though is the cellar entrance. A lot of people like that one, and I'll probably use that because it's just quicker and easier. Mostly because of the slanted part. It just fits nicely with a register type of look. You could probably use it for a typewriter, that kind of thing. So let me see. I don't think I have one here, but I'm going to check anyway. But you can see it's got that slanted bit, and folks really like using that as a register type of thing. And you just pack it in with whatever screens or such that you want to use. Let's and that looks about an okay size. Maybe knock it down just a little bit. Maybe we'll put that in the middle here. Well, let's set it here for now and then we'll move it. So like for the panel part for the keys and stuff, I'd say probably use the control panel thingy. One here. Now I'm probably going to have to deal with this being showing all these bits that I don't want actually showing. We'll see how it looks. Something like that. Kind of sticking out the bottom there, but oh well, it's pretty close. Something along those lines. I mean, you can get a little fancier, but I'm trying to keep it a little. Let's see, if we want to fill this up, we could use, let's see, shelves and display cases. Why we have a bunch of these, I have no idea. I was using them for something, but I don't remember what it was. Those are craftable, so I don't have enough of them. Let's see. Don't think I can get away with that. Let's look here. Yeah, I think that'll be poking up through the thingy, so that's not going to work. Let's try containers, cabinets maybe. It's kind of expensive on the Renown, but Mike could get away with using this. Probably poking through the back there. Probably something more square than this thing. And not as thick. But you could line it with a bunch of these to have, you know, drawers that you want to put in. You have any empty shelves? I don't think so. I think you're talking about like the empty trophy cabinet. Is that what you're talking about? Let me see. Oops, did I just close that? The empty trophy cabinet probably work really well because then it gives you like insta shelves that you can fill in. But I'm also looking for something to just kind of box that in. So let me go to the containers thing. So we have the crates. You could use sustain. Any of the box type things would work really well, but what I probably should do is just use that the solid one. What I could do is, if I want to keep it narrow like that, probably just replicate it. Would be the easiest. Rotate it over. I think that's what I'll do. Like so. Not exactly. It's like rounded for some reason. It's because of the shape of the thing. They're not exactly straight. We just did that. That way that's all boxed in and you don't see any of that junk that's hidden, but I keep the thinness of it. That ensures that there's plenty of space here to walk around, especially if you decide to put like some boxes of things here, just crates or whatever little doodads you want. Here you could put up one of those flip top, like little, I don't know what you call them, little barrier thing. It makes it solid here, but it's actually open end. But typically I don't, because often, depending on how you slant it or have it open, it might have some collision issues. Same way here, you could do the same thing, have it like flip here. If you're into using like your interactables and stuff, that would be a great place to use it. You know, have a little switch here that would flip it open and closed if you want to simulate that that's happening. But it's kind of like me with doors, interactable doors. I tend not to use them. I'll find some other way to kind of just either leave the entrance open or whatever, because it's like chairs. A lot of people will go to a plot and go to sit in the chair, and either they're sitting backwards or they're kind of at a side, or it just doesn't work. And the doors can have that problem too. And while Katya's add-on does fix some of that, not everybody has that add-on, so don't assume so, and work your plot to be user-friendly for anybody, and not just Katya add-on users. Okay, so we have some of the collectibles. We've got like some hats, we got shirts, we got a golf bag, golf clubs, the balls. We still need a like a scorecard thingy. What could we use for that? Let's see. Let's use one of these baskets, I think. Make that a little bit smaller. And we're going to take the little sign. Make that smaller. This would be good for if you're doing like a food vendor, like for like a fruit stand, having a garage sale, any number of things. Just using these as like little advert things. Okay, and then we'll just put little posters in for that. We got a bunch of these, so we'll just use those. And these would be like pretend scoreboard, scorecards. Maybe it's just little pamphlets for showing you all the holes of the course. Who knows what it is? So like this. Here's that one, I guess. Oops. I don't know why that does that. So weird. Now I have to bring that down. Let me see. Where is that? That's pretty close. I forgot what one it is. There we go. So there's just some little scorecards, magazines. Who knows what it is? I don't know. Stuff. Okay. So probably the other big thing we want to work on today is the little snack bar or what. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to forgo this idea of a little snack bar. I'm going to turn this into maybe a corner where a vending machine is. Now we do have an actual vending machine decor. I think it's called the Gatorade machine. Looks like a moving soda pop kind of thing. And we've seen a few people use some things like having a drink dispenser type of deal for like where you actually push the thing and the soda pop comes out, like dispenser type of thing like that. And a few other things, but I'm going to work on just a soda vending machine thing. You could do one for like chip bags if you want, or other types of snacks. You know, we've seen on the, I think it's the crafting fab kit and some of the places in open world where they have like a little vending machine. It looks like it's got swords and things inside it. We don't actually have that as a decor, but it's something to inspire you for that. But since I'm trying to preserve how many items I'm actually using for this, I'm mostly going to be making one where you don't actually see the items on the little racks. It's not going to have like a clear glass window. You can go that elaborate if you want, but I'm going to try and stick to something a little less item intensive, hopefully. Big hopefully on that. So I'm going to use my favorite travel poster stuff. Oops, 90 on that. And now the first thing when I'm making some kind of an appliance or anything, again, I'm looking to scale it to a reasonable size. You don't want it so big that it looks cartoony for the others, but you don't want to make it too small for the taller races. So just try and find a happy medium so that it looks okay. Let's see. The travel posters. My favorite, of course, is Phineas, the proto guys. I think that's what we'll fashion our machine for. Keep hitting the wrong button. There we go. Did we get the right one selected? Now you could leave it out away from the wall a little bit so that if you want to show that there's a plug in there, that's fine. Put this one over. Try that again. Now for the top, obviously you can't use the single one because it's too long. So you have to make it smaller and size it down. See if we can get away with that. And it's just the way the sizes work, it's not going to be perfect up top as far as the divisions of where the lines land, but it's pretty close. Okay, so there's that part. Now we need to add the little bits above. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add another panel here. And what I'm looking to do is to cover up the text there. You could go ahead and leave it if you want, but I'm going to see if I can actually make a little advert sign. And look at my banana alphabet cheat sheet up. Oh. Let's see. I'm going to copy the E, I think. Yeah, even my bananas are squared off. I'm going to get rid of this one. Copy this one over. And then we need to make okay. I don't know if that one took, but hopefully that's. His drink. And we'll put the dispenser right there at his mouth. Gonna cover up his nose, but it's not an actual hole. A lot of people would want to build, uh, an actual where it has like a pocket of space. You can do that, but again, it's just going to be more materials that you would have to include. And again, I'm trying to simplify it a little bit. Like I said, if you want a clear front end and so that you can see all the products that are in there, you can't get away with just using like a front row of sodas. You'd have to have the whole string of them in the back showing. So that's pretty item intensive if you want to go that way. But we're going to try and keep it a little bit simpler. Just give the impression that this is some kind of a vending machine kind of deal. There's a little pocket there, and then you need your little buttons and doohickeys there for your different choices of drinks. So you could just use, again, let's do like 3 different brands. Excuse me. We'll do a purple one. Some of these won't be available to everybody because it depends on how active you've been with. So let's size that down, turn it sideways. These are like the little dispense buttons that you would push. That's the choice you want of whatever soda it is. Make that one choice number 2. So there you go, you've got your little buttons. You could get more fancy again. You can have like some like little blinking lights, like the detonator thing is really good if you want to do that. You probably need something that acts like a coin slot or something. So maybe you'd use just the end of the poster. You probably have to use several of them. There's also the Dominion fence post that probably would work good. Use a keyhole window, make it look like a little slot of some sort. There's like your little, I don't know, money bill slot thingy, or just a coin slot, or something that's where you put the stuff in. Maybe it better belongs up top. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see if I can together. Oops. Go this way. Bring it up top and then move the poster things down below. Like so. So there's your money thingy and then the different choices of the drinks. Now you could get fancy, replicate the picture on the sides. You could add a little generator up top so that it's keeping it, you know, cold. There's lots of different things you could try. Use different types of lettering. Maybe you want it neon instead. The neon signs, most of them are craftable, so that should be relatively easy to get a hold of, that kind of thing. Link all this together. So I can move it as a single unit. There's a vending machine. If you want to do a different one, if you really are adamant about showing like an actual drink rather than his face, you could just leave this blank and like put the little soda can on the front. You can do that. Like I've seen vending machines here that are actually like cheese sandwiches. It'll make you a fresh grilled cheese sandwich. It's really funky, but or a chip bag, or you know, some kind of food items, like maybe it dispenses pizza slices or something. Just use those and then like use the sign to show what's inside it without having to go through the trouble of recreating a bunch of them. Maybe you have one that dispenses pies or cupcakes even, so then just have a cupcake on the front. If you want, you could go through and go ahead and add one of the beer cans. Now it's just 100. Again, if you're going to make a machine that you see all of the cans inside, if it's got a clear front, that's a lot of renown you have to deal with. But if you just kind of pretend like this is the dispenser for this one, then you can just kind of sneak that in and have it as just a single coming out. So it's already got a soda can popping out. And there you go. So now you have a little soda machine. I don't know if we're going to do anything else. I think we've been going at it for a little bit. But again, neon signs for the lettering, we see a lot of that. In fact, I think it was Moose that showed a tweet of a sign for his Mystery Shack build. They use neon signs. Another favorite is the fireworks. Specifically, I think it's the firecracker. The dynamite would probably work, but it's rather dark, so you'd have to have a lighter background, I think, to make it really pop. That's one thing I like about the bananas. Just about any background you put it on, it will pop pretty good. It's pretty visible. But like, oh, which one is it? The red one? This one here, the Cassian candle. That would probably be good for letterings. We saw, I think it was Zodi that used that for her food truck, the K Sushi food truck. That works really good. The only thing about the fireworks, those, if they're fairly small, which they would have to be for this type of lettering here, they disappear at a distance. The bananas do too, but you do have to be pretty far away. But you can see it's pretty close. I mean, it's still a fairly good distance. They're visible. That's why I like using them for a lot of my lettering. I've got that on my wild ball field. I have it on the Easter plot and a couple other places, I'm sure. Towels work good. I think that's what I used for the bakery. Use the folded edges of the striped towel because it's like the widest of the bunch. Um, Trying to think what else you could use for lettering. Anything that gives you a nice straight edge is good, or slightly curved like the bananas if you want a little bit different kind of lettering. Um, Table edges might work, like the metal tables. You just might have to deal with, depending on where you're putting it would determine best what item you use because like the neon signs, they have some excess stuff that if you can't sink it in deep enough, like if you're trying to put a sign here, it's going to limit you because you don't have that much to sink it, the hidden parts away. But for something like this, those are fantastic. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Okay, so probably the next thing we'll work on and stuff would be maybe to add like a waste bin of some sort for the little snack area. I might see about adding a second one for you got your drinks and then we'll add one for snacks if I can think of something that will look like a snack. And then we'll work on I'm calling it the trophy corner. I don't know how exactly I'm going to do it, but that'll be for Thursday because tomorrow again is Wednesday, and that means we have Exile house tours coming up. I already have, let's see, get my schedule here. It sounds so organized. I'm really not. Yeah, I've got 4 really awesome places in line, which I think will probably be more than enough. Um, yeah, I think the 4 will be good. Sometimes I go ahead and go to 5, but it depends on the plot, how much I can, how much stuff there is to talk about. There's some plots that really look nice, but there's, it's not that it's basic or it's boring or anything, but there's just not a lot of stuff to discuss, like, a lot of the landscaping. I don't get into all the names of the different plants and the trees and things. So if the plot is mostly uh, interesting because of the landscaping, then I'm probably not going to have a whole lot to talk about other than maybe um, how they've elevated certain parts of the plot or something like that. But like when it comes to like builds like this where I can talk about the different items that are being used to maybe construct a certain piece, um, that becomes a little bit detailed, especially if the person we're visiting has taken the time to add a lot of that kind of detailing. It can take a lot of time to go through it. So that usually determines if we hit, because I may have like 5 or 6 on the list for a particular tour day, but I may only get to like 3 of them if I'm sitting there gabbing too long about one. Because unlike Noriak and them, it's not a diss on them, but they can get through a plot like in 15 minutes, and I might go through the same one and spend like an hour just gabbing about the whole thing. And for a lot of people, I think the bite-sized tours are preferred because people don't have the time to sit down for hours and hours and critically analyze everything that's on the plot. They just want to see these amazing bits and in a smaller amount of time that's better suited to most people. But for those that stick with me, you're in it for the long haul because I could be on a plot for an hour or more and just be talking about the same stuff. It's not that I repeat everything, but we can really sit there and chit chat about it. So yeah. So hopefully you guys are able to join me tomorrow. I'm hoping to hook up with one of the builders sometime today. I tried to get with them yesterday, but they wanted to give me a little background about their plot on some of the features of it and the inspiration behind it and stuff. And I wanted to really take that opportunity because we don't get to do that very often, and I do find it interesting when we can. So hopefully I can get a hold of them sometime today. But otherwise, I'm just going to be winging it. Hopefully they can maybe stop by during the stream to kind of lead us around. But if not, I will show it to the best of my ability, even if I have no clue what I'm talking about. But of course, if you can't make it tomorrow, I archive everything, so you can just hook up with my YouTube channel or check it out in the highlights section directly from my Twitch channel. Um, and of course, Friday will be the CBDC showcase tours. I'm really, really looking forward to that. And of course, I'm excited about next month's theme. I'm hoping folks will get into that one as well. But it's going to be exciting to see how everybody takes that same little shape of house and how they break it up, divide it, build it, decorate it. It's going to be fun to look at all the different styles. So, hope you guys had fun. I hope you stay cool if it's a little warm in your part of the world. And good luck with your projects. Have fun today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.